I'd like to note that now we will be moving to our session 7 on intergenerational cooperation and inclusive governance. So we've heard a lot about aging and also youth and intergenerational, which means future generations, but also children. So this session will be interactive. And I think a lot of us, it's hard, we've traveled from many different places, so we're on different time zones. So I see you, I've noticed. So I hope with this session that we're going to have more interaction, we can maybe take the energy from the youth that we have that will be joining us for the session and wake up and participate more. So I would like to give the stage first to our esteemed moderator again for session 7, Jurgen, Gafke, Senior Program Manager, Senior Program Officer from Division for SDGs of DESA. He will lead us into the session with a first presentation on the Pact for the Future. So.
Thank you. I know this session is between now and lunch, but please try to keep a little bit of the energy moving. This is a youth session, so I know I recently learned that I'm now part of the older generation, but still leading this session. Before going into the presentation, I would like to introduce the panel members that I have next to me. First, next to me, I would like to introduce Ms. Farzana Faruk Jhumu. Ms. Jhumu is the Youth Advisor for the Secretary General's United Nations Youth Advisory Group on Climate Change. She is an inspiring activist from Bangladesh and created an NGO working with school children and was part of the Friday movements, as you heard, the Fridays for the Future. And if you see, our theme today goes today, Actions Today for a Resilient Future. So what we are now doing, trying to action, what can we do for a resilient future? The advisory group of SDG is 14 members, but I believe Ms. Jhumu will explain a little bit more on that subject. Then I welcome warmly Ms. Tsuji Kunie. She is a deputy mayor from Toyota City, and she will introduce several youth programs that we have here in the city. Ms. you have a long history working with Toyota City for, I believe, 40 years. You started working with Toyota City and in leading roles in many departments, from the police to general administration, and she has been the first female deputy mayor in Toyota, appointed in 2024. And not yet on the stage, but I'm looking forward for the presentation from the Children Assembly, and the Deputy Mayor, Ms. Tsuji Kunie, will welcome later on Mr. Takeru Nagaya and Ms. Yuna Mori, who are from the Children Assembly. And I'm happy to learn that we also have the JUNTOS Association, who work in a homey area in Toyota City. And we have 3 members there, Shunto Yoshimura, who is the president, Keiko Yamamura and Seina Kimura. Welcome for the youth. I know that we will work later on, but you will see them here. If you can just stand up and wave from the Children Assembly and from JUNTOS. Welcome. And I promise today we will work together. This is an interactive session where we try to match older people like us with a younger participation in the youth groups here. But first, let me give some introductory remarks on setting the scene. What is it all about? For the presentation, can you start up the presentation? Just to set the scene. Just to remind, when it comes to, next slide, please. One more. I will try to keep it short. Just to set the scene back, we have the Pact for the Future and the Sustainable Development Goal were adopted in 2015 for set the theme and how we protect the planet for future generations now. And the Pact for the Future again sets a foundational promise to protect present and future generations and scale up our efforts to achieve the SDGs. And here, it's really the promise to keep our planet livable for generations to come. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. The concept of the SDGs is going beyond 2030. I heard several questions asked, okay, in 2030 we are done with it, then we get away with it. The concept was developed over many years, even prior to 2015. It stems back from development about in the late 60s, early 70s, last century. And it was further developed on the concept of 5 pillars: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. We keep our resources for future generations. That concept will go beyond 2030. And the SDGs were developed of a core set of principles: leave no one behind, inclusiveness, universality, it goes beyond the borders, it applies to every country beyond. Indivisible interconnectivity, where we're saying you cannot address one SDG, one goal in isolation. They're interconnected, the goals are interconnected, you need to bring it all together. Next slide, please. Now, for the Pact for the Future, what we look at is intergenerational. No single generation can tackle today's global challenges alone. We heard at the opening session that we are not on track to meet the SDGs by 2030. We really need to work together and bring everyone on board to work together on the SDGs. Younger and older generation can bring a lot of experience, skills and expertise and perspective to create solutions that are necessary to transform the future into a sustainable and resilient future. And just separately, I was on a panel just 2 weeks ago. We had the 1st of October was the International Day of Older Persons. So I was on the panel as well, and one of the panelists there was a doctor who was 103 years old, still practicing, still active. He goes to work every day. He said he's tired but not retired, I remember. So everyone working on the future, and he showed what barriers we are facing in participation. How can we make sure that our presence is looked at not just as a token, that we are there and just not to be present, but also be part of decision making? What are the barriers we are facing? And today the same applies for youth. Youth need to be full partners in decision making. Youth participation must be the norm, not the exceptions. Young people have the power and interest to participate in shaping our future. And last not least, there's an optimism. I think the optimism and the energy from the young people, we cannot just ignore. We cannot have the luxury to say, oh, we can do it without them. No, we need the young people. When you look at the new technologies, when we need to invest in young people that they can have the right education, the right skill to shape our future technology solutions, and not just as contributor. They need to be there from the beginning. Just the next slide, I'm finishing and we can start the next presentation. I had several takeaways. Next slide, please. If I look at the key messages from the Pact for the Future is we need intergenerational leaderships. It unlocks innovation and sustainability. We need meaningful participation of older and younger people, and not just a token participation. Younger persons must be at the table when we plan solution, not just as an afterthought or token presence. And we take that literally. When we have the group exercise, we want to have the young people at each table. And we have a huge task before us. And I remember one message from day one, where we said, okay, if it's a huge task, we still must start. We may start with small things what we can do today, but we cannot not have the luxury not to start. Thank you. May I now pass the floor over to the presentation of Ms. Farzana? You have the floor.
Thank you so much, distinguished delegates and SDG advocates. Hello, I'm Farzana. I love to call myself a climate justice advocate, but I'm here with my hats of youth advisor to the Secretary General of United Nations. So I am from Dhaka, Bangladesh, a country which is really vulnerable to climate change due to the geographical location. And due to my work, I have been to many cities like Paris, beautiful romantic city, cities like Dhulikhel, where you can see the Mount Everest from, cities like Nairobi, the home to Karuna Forest, or even cities like Toyota, where you can see a very nice and peaceful environment. But I still also go back to my city and call that home, a city which it has the worst traffic system, worst pollution, bad manhole system, waste management system. But still, why I go to my home and call that my home is because I see people and young people who actually own that city with passion, saying, we can make this beautiful and livable for others. No offense to all those cities I talk about, but when I look into those cities and then my city, I don't see, oh, I want to go there to live. I see that I want to be part of making the change. And that's not me alone. I have worked with so many young people who actually have the similar hope. And that's the hope which actually make young people the agent of change. So I actually got this question before to prepare for this session, and there was a conversation around what actually young people need to be in decision making. And I think what we really need is to be the decision makers to actually say that what we need for decision making. What I meant is, it's not someone decide that maybe a young person is needed in decision making, but coming from a young person that, oh, this is where we are needed. And to make actually that possible, to make young people part of the decision making is also necessary, because like 1/3 of the global population right now is young people. So if you are thinking from the development aspect, that's like smart to bring 1/3 of the population to the conversation. If you're thinking from the capitalist perspective, still it's better if you bring young people to the decision-making process. And now when we're talking about bringing young people to the decision-making process, we first need to make sure that young people are ready to be in this decision-making process. How we can make them ready is to actually think ourselves as like through a learning process of peer-to-peer learning. So the young people who is already in this process can actually be the actor of learning. So they can make sure that other young people can learn. Because oftentimes what we see that there is a trend of older generation thinking, oh, we have been here forever, so we know everything and you don't. And that's a process which actually makes the gap between a generation and not like make older people understand the language of young people or the mindset, and vice versa. Young people not understanding the knowledge and understanding of older people. So that's why peer-to-peer learning and education model which can be sustainable is very much needed. The second thing we really need is financing. So a recent report is saying that young people only access 0.76% of global climate finance. So 1/3 of generation only accessing less than 1% of climate finance will not actually make climate finance used for young people or for the next generation. And also when we are talking about financing, what's very important is to understand that a country like mine, where the decision-making process is very central. So in the capital, the ministers make the decision and the local level just do that. So there is some sort of partiality, because if a minister likes certain areas, the development of that areas happen. And that's why when we talk about young people getting finance, we talk about local action decided by local authorities. So there is a connection between local government and young people. Maybe through a youth council, maybe through a youth advisory panel. This is everyone to decide how you want to involve your young people from your city or your municipalities. And then also trust with those funds, because often what as young people we see that it's a project-based funding. So very small amount of fund for a very specific project, which doesn't include the labor cost of young people. So we have to like choose between volunteering or choose between like working with government or working to develop our own cities. Finally, what comes is the institutional mechanism to include young people. And for this, I have 3 suggestions. First, to actually make sure that young people are part of the government delegation. When you make a delegation for whether it's climate negotiation or any other environmental negotiation process, or maybe kind of these forums. Second, making a youth council for city or local level, so youth can actually come and make those decision-making process youth-friendly for them to understand. Maybe someone who understands their language, who understands the barrier young people face. And finally, to make, give me 1 second. Yeah, finally, to actually make the policy framework like National Adaptation Plan, nationally determined contribution, and SDG indicators easily accessible and translated in a easier language for young people, so that they don't have to like focus a lot on understanding all those jargons we use in big forums like this. And another very important aspect, I will finish after this, is to focus on the migrated young people, because sometimes when we talk about cities or big cities, we often think that the young people from the big cities are kind of privileged, but we also need to figure out that there are migrated young people who is migrating, so they're losing their hopes, their homes behind to come to a new city to adopt, and many of them are also in child labor or early brides, so we need to include them specially from like other people. finally, to finish, just please consider that currently we are in a race. It's a three-legged race. So if any of us are trying to move forward with like keeping another generation behind, we will fall to our face. So we need to balance the race so that we can all move forward together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very inspiring. And we need to be decision maker. Youth need to be part of the decision making process. I take that as one main takeaway from your speech. Let me now invite the Deputy Mayor for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kunie Tsuji, Deputy Mayor of Toyota City. Today, children and young people from Toyota City will present their activities. Toyota City is focusing on measures to safeguard children's rights, such as the Children Assembly, which will be explained shortly, and on policies to support child rearing. Such efforts were recognized, and last year, Toyota City was approved as the 6th municipality in Japan to implement UNICEF's Japanese model child-friendly city initiative. Based on the Toyota City Children Ordinance, Toyota City holds the Children Assembly to give children the opportunity to express their opinions on community development and participate in society. The Children Assembly consists of school students ranging from 5th grade elementary school to 3rd year high school. Additionally, university students support the children activities. The Children Assembly has been held in Toyota City since 2008. So, what kind of activities are actually taking place? Let's hear from children themselves.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, Mr. Takeru Nagaya and Ms. Yuna Mori. A warm hand of applause, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Takeru Nagaya, a first-year middle school student.
I'm Yuna Mori, a second-year university student. Thank you for your kind attention. This year, we are focusing our activities on multicultural symbiosis. We first conducted fieldwork at 3 locations to learn about the current situation in Toyota City. In Toyota City, there is Homi, where more than half of the residents are foreign nationals. There, we learned about the Homi Art Project, where residents interact through art regardless of nationality. We visited an organization that provides learning support for children who struggle to keep up with school lessons due to lack of Japanese skills. We went to hear from the Toyota International Association, which promotes international exchange and understanding in Toyota City.
After conducting fieldwork, we had numerous discussions in our groups to consider what kind of Toyota City we wanted to create to achieve multicultural symbiosis and how we could make it happen. Then, on October 13th, we made a presentation to the mayor of Toyota City, many adults and children. I say that I wanted to increase opportunities like the Homie Art Project, where people can connect emotionally even when they don't share a common language. This time, at the Children's Assembly, I learned about multicultural coexistence and realized something. Achieving multicultural coexistence requires only a slight shift in awareness. I hope many people will find opportunities to proactively learn about the cultures of diverse countries. Other groups also presented opinions based on their own experiences, such as we want to create a town where differences are recognized and accepted. And we would like to have more Japanese language classes.
I participated in the Children's Assembly since elementary school, and now as a university student, I support the children's activity. In the Children's Assembly activities, we can share our thoughts with one another regardless of age. The Children's Assembly is a place where I have friends with whom I can discuss matters seriously, and where I feel I belong. I hope this town will continue to let children express their thoughts.
This concludes the Children's Assembly presentation. We now hand over to Juntos for the presentation on youth activities in Toyota City.
Thank you, Mr. Nagaya and Ms. Mori. Can I ask Shunto to take the floor? Thank you, Shunto, Keiko, and Seina from JUNTOS Association.
Hello everyone. Boa tarde, buenas tardes. We are JUNTOS, a non-profit organization. JUNTOS was started when we were university students. Although we studied at different universities, we all met in the Homie area of Toyota City, and that's where we began our activities. In the Homie area, 58.1% of the residents are foreign residents, no, foreign nationals. Most are long-term residents from Brazil, and many are choosing to make it their permanent home. Many foreigners live there, so it must be unsafe, dirty, and noisy. Those are the kind of negative rumors I often heard when I was a student at a university near the Homie area. However, through a university seminar, I had a chance to join volunteer activities in the area. What I actually experienced there was completely different from those rumors. The residents warmly welcomed me. They taught me Portuguese and invited me to their parties. I also saw the Residents Association working hard to address the waste issues. The community was incredibly warm, and I felt the bright and resilient spirit of Latin American people in facing challenges. I was deeply attracted to this community. I wondered why such negative rumors existed, and that curiosity led me to visit every day. Through these experiences, I began to understand the challenges foreign residents face in Japan. I asked myself what I could do for them, and that led me to establish JUNTOS.
Now we focus on three main social issues. We see children who move to Japan due to parent circumstances often struggle with self-confidence. They face new schools, languages, and cultures, and sometimes feel inferior or anxious about their future. In response, our vision is to create a society where everyone feels a sense of loving connection. That means a society where people, regardless of age, nationality, or background are respected, loved, and have the right to make their own choices for their future. To achieve this vision, JUNTOS focuses on community building with children always at the center of our activities. First, we respect children's ideas and enjoy the process together. In our Saturday classes, we work with children on local issues and themes, creating a space where everyone can be just themselves. Second, we believe that connections are the key to community building, and JUNTOS aims to be that bridge. We host a flea market every 3 months. Its purpose is not only to reduce waste, but also to create a place for neighbors to come together. In addition, we carry out other projects, such as creating a handbook commissioned by Toyota City that introduces local organizations supporting multicultural coexistence.
We may be young, but first and foremost, we are members of the society, living together as equals beyond any labels. We keep looking for ways to contribute to the future we hope to create. We truly believe that when people of all backgrounds come together to shape their communities, it's the first step toward a society where no one is left behind. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, if I see that the similarities are striking, if I hear Ms. Farzana saying young people make their cities livable, the same applies to the youth associations here. Young people make the cities livable and leave no one behind. Now we come to the interactive session of this session, and I would like to ask my colleague Ms. Sarah Castro-Hallgren to lead that session. Ms. Hallgren is one of the main organizers, and you have been seeing her in and out, running behind the scene. She has been with the United Nations since 2009 and is an accomplished author, policy advisor, works on events like these for capacity development. And I would like to give her a warm hand of applause for all her effort. Thank you, Sarah. Over to you. And I believe we can release the panel for this exercise.
Participate in the exercise. So thank you very much, Jurgen, and thank you to everyone for being here. So for this session, which is a group session, I kindly ask you to get up first, stand up where you are seated, and pick a different table. Pick a different table without your neighbor following you, okay? So we're trying to mix it up. Without your neighbor or that person sitting here. Go sit at a different table. Sit at a different table, any table you like. At the table where you are, you should have a piece of paper, and we have a slide here, a background slide. I think we should have it. That should guide us through our exercise. So I want you to imagine the year 2050. Imagine the year 2050. Then you should find a different table. if you didn't succeed in networking, you didn't bring enough friends. Here, I see a table over there. There's a table over there. They need some friends over there. By the podium, they need friends. And juntos or juntos, it means together in Spanish, in Portuguese. So the idea is let's be more friends and be together more. And think year 2050. So if we imagine the year 2050, what would be the newspaper headline for the year 2050, in your view? Please introduce yourselves to each other. If you don't know each other already, please take a moment and introduce yourselves. What country are you from? Please introduce yourselves to each other. Ah, sí, sí, claro. Yes, con gusto. Ah, ellos van a tomar foto. Dame una foto. Ah, okay. Yes, the instructions are up here on the screen. So after you've finished introducing yourselves to each other, making friends, juntos together, or juntos together, then we will think to the year 2050. So we are only about 23 years now, I think, now from 2050, right? If I'm awake enough, right? Yeah, so not really, because it's 2026 very soon. So we have 24 years till we get to 2050. So what would happen in 24 years? And you can be honest. You know, some of us may be more pessimistic than others. So what will happen in 24 years? What will it be like in 2050? And you can create multiple headlines. So just turn your paper around. You should have that paper on your table. Turn it around, and you can think of your headline, brainstorm together. This is the instruction. So just brainstorm together. And what will it look like? You know, and then you compare views. Maybe some of us are more positive or more negative, and you come up with your headlines. And we will share a QR code on the next one to submit the headlines. So now, when you've thought of your headline of what you think the year will be like in 2050, you can submit it. Oh, no, not this one. No. This is, oh, there's a mistake there. But this is the QR code where you should be able to submit it. So let's try. Here. Let's check. Here you have the QR code, so you scan it. Scan somebody or anybody in your group, you can scan the QR code and submit your headline for year 2050 or the multiple headlines. What do you think it's going to be like? You know, is there a major flooding? Has everybody relocated to different parts of the world? Or is it wonderful and we have 100% renewable energy, nuclear fusion, zero poverty? Poverty is eradicated. So you can submit your headlines there, please. So I will give you 5 more minutes to discuss because we have to figure out how to connect the internet to the screen up there to show everything as well. So 5 more minutes and then we can start sharing our headlines. now the QR code is fixed and we have internet on the computer. So there, I submitted my headline. It says, no more conflicts. There's no more conflicts. So you can submit a headline with this QR code. So when they designed the Pact for the Future, I think it was a lot of ideas and thinking for Pact for the Future. And so this is our own mini exercise. So please make sure you have scanned the QR code. We are going to show some of the headlines now. If you didn't scan it, I have a QR code I can help you with. So you can see some people have shown, oh yeah. So can this group explain your headline? Please introduce your headline. How did you get there? Who thought of it? Here we go. Fiji? Yes? No, please.
You hide it.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So our headline is humanoid robot population is growing. Human population is in decline. So we think that more and more the innovations in AI and robotics will become more common in the next 25 years, and we could imagine humanoid robots being part of gatherings like this. It will become more common, not just in factories, but also in daily human interactions and activities. And we also put there the human population is in decline, acknowledging that in many parts of the world, the population growth is also slowing down. And so there's that tension between the growth of AI and robots and also population growth among humans. Thank you.
Thank you, Marvin. Any other comments? Yes. A round of applause for our first group. Now, do we have another group? Okay, please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Albert, the mayor for the city of Keiko in Zimbabwe. In our group here, our headline was, I think you saw the young man was presenting about a young organization that is fighting the rights for immigrants in Japan. So we decided to focus our headline towards their organization. So our headline was Juntos Speak for the Future for the Rights of Foreign Children in Japan. So our basis was, as you know, we are living in a global village where people are moving daily. People are going out of countries daily. So we said we need to think of policies that will govern or that will make the foreign children in 20 years' time or in 2050 to live in a comfortable Japan. We need to look at the curriculum. Will these children in 20 years' time, will they be able to fit in the curriculum system of Japan? We also need to look at, we are living in a global world where in 20 years' time, we might be having people who are moving from other children. Those children, do we have policy in terms of education to look after those people? So basically, that is a part of our group discussion. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. And so we do know that, yes, when we talked about transformational adaptation takes it a step further, and that's relocation of communities. And in the future, yes, we expect to see more migration. Yeah, so thank you for highlighting that. Did this group have a headline?
Our headline, we said, we think in 2050, each and everything will be people-centered decision. People-centered decision, understanding each other culture, tolerance, respect of each culture, and ethnicity. This is our perspective for 2050s. No conflict within the society. Peace keeping will be existing and spread all over the world.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor. And we have a headline here. I think we did, yes?
The headline of our group is the youngest female mayor, Keiko, it's in my name, launches a simultaneous translation device in all schools to facilitate participation for learners in their own languages. So our group have the idea that technology will be beyond human resources, and also have the opinion about education, current education in Japanese school. And sometimes children is learning in the separate room, a private room, learning Japanese to understand what teachers said. But it's also important things, but we think it's also important to learn, to children learn together with their own languages to feel safety, more safety. So, yeah, that's why we chose this headline. Thank you.
Did your group submit any other headlines? No? Okay. Okay. So then now we have this group over here. Did you want to introduce her?
Thank you. My name is Irfan Shah. I am from Embassy of Pakistan, Tokyo. Our group, first of all, we have named our group, this group is a smart group, because we were talking about smart cities and smart technologies, and we have 3 very young smart people on our table. It's a very participatory group as well, because not everybody was thinking alike. half of us thought that we were already 100% renewable by 2050, and half of us thought that no, it would be 50% of the world. So our headline was halfway there to a cooler world. And the different thoughts which arose from this topic was that we would be needing some great technologies like a great big device for the battery storage, and also because nuclear is a cleaner energy, so we would, because the plants are very expensive, they need a big initial capital, so we would be needing some small modular reactors. Some points of concerns when the world shifts to renewable energy and solar EV batteries is like in the present day, we are facing the challenge of how to tackle the plastic pollution. I think in 2050 and beyond, we would be seeing a huge problem of how to tackle the dead batteries, because I see a lot of dead batteries in 2050 and late and beyond. So that would be a point of concern from our group as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and for highlighting how you compromised the different scenarios and visions. Okay, so, and from this group, we will have, yes, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, I'm Gabriel Alonso Rusk. I am actually a volunteer today, but I am speaking on behalf of our JUNTOS members for this group. Our theme that we went with is underneath Seina, which is connectivity and equity, a world free of inequality. But I'd also like to add our other headline of where is my brain, ask AI. A lot of our theme goes around how children could be connected with education in the future. In terms of being bigger participants in education. But with AI right now creating this issue of creativity, how children use creativity, how they feel comfortable expressing themselves or instead relying on AI, we, the current generation, need to be a guide to help the children feel comfortable sharing and using their own will, their own brains to do what they want with it, their education future. And so to succeed with that, we also need to really work on connecting children with other children in the world. And Seina was talking about how she'd really like, with, let's say, JUNTOS and group like that, she'd like to see them not just be something in Toyota City, but get to work abroad with other children in other countries as well, like going over to Africa and doing some stuff there, and getting to really not have people just think about Japan, or even, like, let's say, a lot of Brazilian children living in Homi focusing on their life in Japan, but also thinking about what it means to be a child of this world, seeing what other children and what other people are dealing with. Thank you very much.
Now, I think we have here this group. Okay, excellent. So please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, this is Fiza Baloch from Pakistan. So the theme we chose is digitalization, and all of us are agreed on the point that a lot of things will be changed in terms of technology after 50 years. Maybe one of the participants said maybe there are no humans at all. But in terms of AI, the headline we have made is AI granted equal legal status as a human after global accord sign. Because, we all have noticed this, AI is taking some very crucial place in our life, and maybe after 50 years in our society is a very important part of it. All of us also have noticed that, the sensitivity of AI, we can notice that it feels like, sometimes we feel like it is more like being, not a human, but somehow moving to that, part. So we personally think that maybe someday AI overtake us. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we have another headline up there that hasn't been shared yet. So this group here, I'd like to ask who your spokesperson is. Please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Let me say good afternoon before lunch. Yeah, I'm from Karong City, Cambodia. Yes, today our group headline is a bit long. We wanted to summarize it a bit shorter. But anyway, in short, we believe that in 2050, the AI will replace most of human jobs. But at the same time, human will do a better job than today. We can focusing on a job that make us happier than to make money, because we believe that AI will do all the salary-based job for us. So we have plenty of time to do the job where we can make life better, make us happier, like doing the environmental job, the social job, and make sure that in the future, people will still be connected socially, not separately. We're focusing on how to live a happier life. We're connecting people together and also make the planet safer to live and happier. This is what we are discussing and bringing our headline. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think we have two groups left. So I'd like to give the microphone to our representatives from our group Namibia and Philippines, Namibia group.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Marceline Danan from the city of Santa Rosa in the Philippines. So I'm speaking in behalf of the Philippines and the Namibia group. So what we actually made is an actual newspaper content. So for the 2050 newspaper headline, we set this at a new dawn, the world achieves 100% renewable energy. So the objective of which is to transition 100 successfully to renewable energy. So part of the newspaper also, we had some breaking news to be included as part of the newspaper. So this breaking news will be posted in successive issues of our newspaper. So first of the breaking news is a new innovative energy storage solutions revolutionizing power supply. Another breaking news is solar, wind, hydroelectric power utilization underscore the importance of global transition to low and zero carbon communities. Next is the phase out of nuclear energy as an alternative source of power and energy. Renewable energy towards industrial revolution, and credits from use of conventional energy systems allocated to economic development and other sustainable projects. We also wanted to include in the newspaper some quotes of the day as part of the article, which we agreed that, according to Peter Drucker, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So that's for the Philippines-Namibia group. Thank you.
Wonderful. Systems thinkers, yes, thank you very much. So now I would like to move to our last group. Just a quick introduction. Yes, thank you.
Hello, my name is Kaori Saito. I am a coordinator of international relations for Sesame Town. We did the title, "The City of Kigali is Paving the Way for a Safer Future with 3D Maps and Drones." Sesame currently has finished their 3D mapping of the city, and Kigali, he had to leave earlier, but would also like to do it in Rwanda, and we were hoping to work together with him.
Thank you. Applause. So yes, that means that in 24 years, we will have partnerships that have achieved results. Clearly, some different views on AI and the potential, the risks, so we should plan for that. And then I think a lot of other opportunities for resilience, systems thinking to achieve balance and happiness and continuous improvement in Kaizen. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.